Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name's Tyler, and in today's video I'm going to be taking you through how I took $1,000 from age 15 through to a $100,000 stock portfolio by the time I'm 20. So yeah, let's get into it. You might be wondering why I'm here at my pool, and that's because I've already tried to film this video like 3 times, but every time I try and film I keep saying or I keep stuffing up. So I'm sick and tired of it, and I'm setting myself a challenge that if I say or stuff up during the video 3 times, I'm giving myself 3 lives because it's really hard, I will jump in the pool with all my clothes on. Here in Australia it's winter, the pool is 15 degrees Celsius or 59 degrees Fahrenheit, and yeah, I don't want to do it, so I don't want to stuff up. I don't want to jump in the pool. 2, 1. Anyway, I want to thank today's sponsor, me. I don't have a sponsor yet because this is one of my first YouTube videos. I'm trying to make valuable content that you guys can learn something from my journey so far and try and make it somewhat entertaining. So if you enjoyed, chuck a like on it, really appreciate it, and maybe subscribe. You can always unsubscribe later. Anyway, let's get into it. So I'm back in the office, no stuff up, so we can do this. Starting at age 8, I had $112 saved up totally. So from age 8 through to ages 11, I had made between $100 and $250 per year. So altogether at age 11, I started off with a net worth of $442. From there, I started to take money more seriously. And to be honest, I got my parents to thank for that. They started to say to us things like, if you want that cap gun, if you want that junk food, you guys are paying for it with your own money. That year I worked on most of my Saturdays and managed to earn about $575. However, getting that taste of money, I started to spend more and more. So that year I spent $680, putting my total net worth actually negative from the prior year down to $337. So from age 12 to 13, I worked harder again, and oh, that's 1 stuff up, 2 more. Okay, so from age 12 to 13, I kept working on Saturdays, earned about $660, however spent about $320, leaving me with a profit of $340 before the mowing. So when I was 12, I was finally old enough to start mowing the lawns on a ride-on mower. So each of us kids, me being the youngest, I have 2 other brothers, we were offered the choice to either buy a mower for about $1,000 and pay it back with a loan and earn $100 per mow, or Dad kept the mower, but we earned $10 an hour. So that's where I learned my first business lesson, businesses owning assets. Using a loan to buy those assets, using those assets to earn money, paying back the loan, profiting, once the loans pay back, profit even more, baby. So my total net worth for that year was $340 plus $337 from the previous year, plus the money that I earned from mowing equaled about $977. However, I had a loan of $1,250 for the mower. I also now owned a $1,000 asset, the mower. So I would argue that my net worth at age 13 was $1,977. So from 13 to 14, this is where I really started to use that mower to pay off and earn big bucks. That year I earned $1,400 from mowing alone and another $300 from yard work, and I actually started to work on our neighbors' lawns as well with the mower that I bought. I did, however, spend $370 on junk, so that left me with a profit of $1,340. It was in the years between 13 and 14 where I started to witness my 2 older brothers invest $1,000 into a geared share fund and make $100 deposits each month into that share fund. Now what a geared share fund is, this company took $1,000 from each person, maybe let's say 1,000 different people, that's $1 million. They then do their individual research into Australian stock exchange companies and invest that $1 million into all of these companies broken up. Then they would collect an additional $100 from each person or whatever it was, and then keep investing that. They would take a fee and we would get the return. So in that year I've invested $1,000 up front, then $100 every single month, and luckily my dad kept up on the financial markets, so he came to me and said, Ty, I think the market's quite low, it'd be a really great opportunity to put another grand in. So put another grand in. So that year was $2,500 into shares. So that $1,977 went straight into those perpetual investments, and the rest, $1,340 from the mowing, plus getting rid of my loan of the mower, saw me to a net worth of $4,740 debt-free by age 14. From age 14 to 15, I knuckled down, mowing even more lawns, mowing our lawn. Damn, that's a second stuff up. So from age 14 to 15, I worked even harder, mowing our lawns every weekend, doing yard work around the place on school holidays, doing mulching, working on the neighbors' lawns, you name it. So I managed to get together $2,150 for that year, and I spent about $250 on crap. After putting $100 each month into my investments, that's $1,200 into the investment. Plus I made about $300 from the gains of the previous year's investment. It was at this point that I was starting to think, why not get a loan for $4,600 to buy a motorbike? Seems like a great idea, right? So that's exactly what I did. Bought a motorbike, had a loan of $4,600, which I'm actually just paid off this year. So my net worth at age 15 was $8,179. However, with the motorbike, if I was trying to get a loan from the bank, I would make that into an asset and include that in my net worth. So I would have had a net worth of $12,749. But me personally, I like to use the rich dad, poor dad philosophy. And if it's taking money out of my bank account, I call that a liability, and I would actually subtract that from my net worth. So my net worth with that philosophy would have been $3,590. From age 15 to 16, I did the same thing, worked hard, earned money, invested, earned $2,080 for that year, wasted $300 on junk, and invested $1,200 into my perpetual fund, plus about $500 from the previous year's unrealized gains from the fund. So putting that all together, I had a net worth of $7,070 at age 15. So from age 16 to 17, I did relatively the same things that I was doing on Saturdays, working on the yard, working on neighbors' yards. However, I did get a job at the local supermarket, Drake's IGA, if anyone knows. That year I managed to earn $3,950. However, my expenses did go up a chunk, and I spent $1,000 for the year. I bought a drone, bought some motorbike gear, and other random stuff. Invested another $1,200 into my perpetual fund, which was great. And I had about a $400 gain from the previous year. I also had paid off a quarter of my motorbike loan, so that's another $1,150 added to my net worth. So by age 17, I had a net worth of $12,770. From age 17 to 18, I just did everything the same and earned a total of $9,277 and spent or wasted about $1,389. I invested $2,100 that year, however lost about $660 in total. That's right, the stock market dipped. I sold my old mower and upgraded to a new mower for $5,000 on a loan. So adding that all together plus another quarter of my motorbike paid off equaled $28,808. That's including the $5,000 asset mower. From age 18 to 19, I started working at university and managed to pick up an extra 2 jobs, working one for my dad's office doing scanning and filing, which he would have had to pay someone else to do. So I just put my hand up and got some work out of that on the holidays. As well, I walked into a Segway 9bot shop, started chatting to the guy, exchanged emails, and got a job there as a sales rep selling Segway scooters. That was pretty awesome, and let me know if you want to see a separate video on that later. So with those 2 jobs, plus my mowing and yard work and work for the neighbors, I earned a total of $15,500. I wasted $3,000 that year on junk, travel time to uni, textbooks, everything else. It was at this year that I started to watch a channel called NowYouKnow, shout out to them, and started to learn about a little company on the rise called Tesla. That's right, I sold out of my perpetual investment at $9,200 and took $8,000 of that, or about $5,000 US, and invested it solely into Tesla that year. Managed to buy it about $280 pre-split, baby, and it's been printing some nice tendies since then. So I worked out that my perpetual fund, I'd invested about $8,200 and received $9,118 back. So over 4.5 years, that's about a 12 to 15% return on investment. On average per year, it was about 3 to 4%, which sucks. Like in comparison, if I had took all of that money and dropped it straight into the S&P 500 with an 8% return year on year, rather than 15% over the course of 4.5 years. It was also at that time that I started to learn about penny stocks and startup companies. One of our relatives was lucky enough to be working for one of these companies, a mining company called Carpentaria Resources. They'd just found a deposit of iron ore which had a really high quality of iron. They were doing pre-feasibility studies at that stage and were looking for investors and partners to actually build the mine and start operating as a company. So I took $1,000 and dropped it in there. Also, the company, when they first announced what they were going to be mining and how much of it there was and what the quality was, their stock price went from about 3 cents to $1 and then back to 3 cents. I invested about 3 cents thinking that, hey, when they find a partner or get that feasibility study done, it's going to shoot back to $1, right? Unfortunately, the stock did nothing really until recently, but I'll tell you about that in a sec. It was at that point that I got another $5,000 loan to invest into that mining company, and I've left it there ever since waiting for that dollar return. So my total net worth after paying back another quarter of my mower that year turned out to be $47,458, which is insane. By age 18 to have about 50 grand is just mind-boggling. But as you've seen, the process of what I went through to get that. And from age 19 to 20 was when I decided to defer, then later withdraw from my uni course and go full-time with an e-commerce company that actually owned the Segway 9-bot store that I was working for as a sales rep. My job there was to source products on AliExpress, Alibaba, get samples, bring them over to Australia in bulk, sell them, private label them, all of that sort of stuff. That was really epic, but that's a story for another video. So I earned about $3,000 a month. However, I started paying rent as my parents always had the rule that if we earn a full-time wage, we start to pay rent. So I was spending about $1,000 per month on paying back my loans, plus the rent, plus other random junk. Finished paying back my motorbike and was continually paying off the mower. I profited about $29,950 for that year. I also had about $360 going into superannuation, which is the equivalent of a Roth IRA here in Australia. So about $3,600 in there total for the year. So that puts me at about $77,000 in net worth by age 20. That's not 100K, I hear you saying, but we haven't calculated those Tesla attendees yet, have we? Obviously, we know that 2020 was a pretty decent year for Tesla. Having about 6 grand into Tesla, I kept investing. Then we had a little cough-19 outbreak and the stock market. So your boy said, oh my God, what's happening? And then I said, let's sell out at 550, buy back in at 300, buy in the dip, get more shares at 300, and ride that rocket to the moon. But unfortunately, me, the noob investor, mistimed it. It only dropped for about a week and I didn't have time to get back into the markets. So I bought back in at about $700, losing money on that one. And so I learned another investing tip. Don't try and time the markets unless you're willing to lose money. If you've got high conviction stocks, buy the dip, but don't try and sell high to buy the dip in case you're wrong or mistime it. So, Editor Ty here, just thought I would clarify that this is not financial advice. Remember, I'm just a random dude on YouTube telling you about my investment experiences. So yeah, it's just for entertainment. Anyway, see ya. So 2020 saw my investment of about $10,000 at that point soar to an insane $40,000, giving me about a $30,000 profit, popping me just over the 100K mark at $107,000 net worth. But what happened to those mining shares, I hear you ask? 3 cents to 16 cents is what happened in 2 days. Nice. Right? They did nothing for 3 years while Tesla was booming. Then they went from 3 cents to 16 cents, giving me a profit of 15K on that, putting me at a total net worth by age 20 of $122,000. So there you have it, my investing journey from age 8 when I had $112 to now age 20 with over $122,000 net worth. I'm pretty happy with that. But I hear you asking, what now? And that's why I've started this YouTube channel. I'm documenting my journey. YouTube is a platform and a business that I want to be a part of because I love the platform and I've been a part of the investing crew of Andre, Graham, Mick, Kevin, all the other guys. I've been watching them for ages and learning from them, doing my own stuff. I'm keen to get into real estate. I've got my stocks pretty organized. I really wanted to share my journey so far and share my ongoing investment journey. And yeah, so if you want to stick along for the journey, please subscribe. It'd mean the world to me. Even if you're unsubscribed later, I'd really appreciate it. And if you've liked the video, why not give it a like? It helps the algorithm, helps me out. Anyway, here's a summary of all the lessons I learned and what you guys can take away and how you guys can actually action on this information to improve your investing journey. So I just realized that I've only made 2 mistakes so far. If I can get through these last tips without stuffing up, I don't have to jump in the fool. I don't have to jump in the fool. Is that a stuff up? Is that a flopping stuff up? I stuff up on saying that I don't want to stuff up. I don't want to jump in the pool. I'm going to get hypothermia. So I'm going to have to give you guys the tips after jumping in the pool. Oh! Come on. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Crap. Okay. So, Nate, tip number 1. Businesses own assets. So, buying assets with loans, which is fake, well, not fake money, but money that you just made, money that came out of nowhere. Oh, it's so cold on my feet. And then paying back the loan with the profits from the money you made with the asset, and then paying back the loan fully. And then now you have a money printing machine, Jerome Powell, baby. Number 2, don't try and time the markets. I learned this the hard way, lost money on it, unless of course you are prepared to lose money or gamble. Tip number 3, consistently invest.
to buy that same thing consistently each and every month. Buying into the market every single month consistently even outperforms perfect market timing consistently. Buy into the markets consistently, buying in over and over and over again.
But more importantly, find stocks that are undervalued and invest in those for the long haul that you believe in. That's been Tesla for me, and it's going to be Tesla in the future because I believe in it long term. Tip number 4, treat yourself as a business. The thing that's helped me so well over these years is being able to track the money that I've earned, track the money that I spent, and track my overall net worth. That's been able to give me the stability to leave my job in e-commerce, working for somebody else, to pursue YouTube and my own investing journey. So stay tuned for that. Like the video if you've enjoyed it so far, and subscribe if you want to see content from me, because I really want to bring you guys value with entertainment and yeah, anything else, whatever. I'm just getting out of the pool. It's so cold. Whew. That's water in my flipping jeans. Oi, what are you still doing here? Video's over. Now, welcome to the post-outro bros. This is for the guys who stay beyond the outro. It's my crew, you know, it's my crew. So if you want to sign up to Stake, it's the brokerage. If you want to invest in US stocks, that's how I invest in US stocks. Don't have to, but if you want to, why not use my code below? I'd really appreciate the free stock. You also get a free stock, by the way. So yeah. If you want to buy anything off Amazon, I'd really appreciate it if you use my link. That'd be great. Blockfi is great. They give me dividends in Bitcoin from holding my Bitcoin with them. So if you want to get dividends paid out in Bitcoin, which is like a growth stock but dividends, so yeah, why don't you use Blockfi? Alright, peace out.